I'll read. This is Legion of the Superheroes, and this is the only Legion of the Superheroes I have ever read. It is number 306, and it is all about this fella, this guy here. He is called Neutron, and later on he joins the Justice League. But back when this comic came out, he was just a member of Legion of the Superheroes. Originally, this character was called Kazar, but then Marvel introduced a Kazar, Wendell Vaughn, so they changed his name to Neutron. And this issue, as I said, it is all about him. It is his origin. He tells his origin story. He is sitting with another member of the team. He's called Impulse. And at the minute, what is happening is the Legion of the Superheroes are voting on who's going to be the leader. And Neutron, he doesn't want his bird to be voted as the new leader because he is a sexist pig, scared of women in power and his missus being able to boss him around. Boo! Down with the misogyny. Up the old patriarchy, yeah. I love women, me. They are fit as fuck. So we start his origin story when he was a baby, and look at the size of him. He is tiny, and he has got gravity powers too. And then we start to see him growing up, and it is a good little story, good introduction to the character. But part of the reason why I didn't read Legion of the Superheroes is because it's a bit like there's this term, this thing in stand-up comedy called comedian's comedian, and that is when a stand-up comedian appeals more so to other comedians, like they do jokes about stand-up theory or like jokes about comedy itself. I haven't really described it that well, but this Legion of the Superheroes, I feel that it is kind of like the comic book equivalent, like a comic book's comic book. It's the sort of thing that writers and artists like, but it's just a bit beyond normies. Like, it's really, really hard to just start reading or jump in on. There's like 20 characters or something like that. And even if you can learn some of the names, what'll happen is they'll just start talking about specific planets or alien races, and you'll be lost, or they'll suddenly start using their real names in dialogue, and you'll be all like, which one is Kieran? I've nothing against Legion of the Superheroes, just it's almost impregnable to someone who doesn't know them. Anyway, I do like this. It is good. It's just Neutron, and if I picked up another issue, if Neutron was in it, I guess I would attach myself to that character, because he is the only one I have some firm understanding of. Actually, hold on, I'm off a bit. I do have other comics with them in, but this is the only issue of their comic I have. Like they're in 0 Hours Christmas in Time, and actually I do have another comic that is technically theirs. It's a DC Comics Presents, where they are the co-stars. One from the Lenny Wen and Jim Starman run. Really good, that one. Anyway, he grows up and he gets more powerful, and then he begins to join the Legion. And didn't ask us to name them all. That one is Superman, obviously, and this one at the end, he is called Mentor. One interesting thing about this comic, inside of it, he don't even wear the costume that he is wearing on the cover. He wears a different one. We keep cutting back and forth between his origin and him and Impulse talking about the vote. And then we see how he was sent on a mission to our prison planet, and what happened is he actually failed his mission. He was really, really badly hurt. Like, you can see him in bandages there. He looks like a mummy. Kind of scary, innit? And so he gets kicked out of the Legion because he is a cripple, and that would never happen in this day and age. You can't fire people because of disability and stuff. And then he met his girlfriend, Delphus, and she is pretty, really pretty. I'd vote her to be leader, because I would like her to boss us about. Like, maybe she could tell me to worship her, or kiss her boot, because I saw a really sexy cover of Superman, where a lass is telling Superman to do that. And he does it because it is sexy being dominated by a beautiful woman. His girlfriend, though, she gets booted out of the Legion too, because they reckon her power isn't very good, that she isn't powerful enough. And this is actually how her and Neutron started a bond, because they were both rejects. So they join the Legion of the Substitute Superheroes, because there's not enough characters already. And these are kind of like all the ones that couldn't get into the main team, the ones that didn't want, the ones that aren't powerful enough. Notice a lot of them are women. This whole Legion of the Superheroes is institutionally sexist, if you ask us. But what ends up happening is Neutron and Delphus end up just joining the Legion again. And at the end, it turns out Delphus hasn't been voted to be the leader. And I feel like this story misses having a point by not having Neutron deal with his inferiority complex, or accepting that maybe she should be leader because she's a good leader. He's just glad at the end that she's not. Like, he hasn't grown, he hasn't learned anything. I do like this comic though, I think it is good. I am interested in the character, his origin is well told. It's just, I don't know where to go from here. If I jump in anywhere else, it's like I am watching the 19th film in a dense franchise where everything matters. I will rate this comic 7 thumbs up though.